I was literally making less than $100 a week. And God was saying to move. God, in my spirit, I felt it was time for a transition. I felt like God was saying it was time to move. Okay. Let me take you back to the beginning, where it all started. So I was living by my dad, 26 years old, and that's pretty common in the Caribbean. I know in the States, as soon as you're 18, it's like, it's like, bye. But for the Caribbean, it's quite common for people to live with their parents up till their 20s. So I was living with my dad, and I felt like God was saying it's a time of transition. And he said, create a little budget sheet, budget out for when you move, how you're going to move, and how your expenses will be as you move. Because at that time, I wasn't paying any bills. My dad had just given us like a very small amount to pay every single month, like $80 or something like that. But I wasn't actually paying any bills. Out of the blue, I had not spoken to anybody about what I heard God say. I hadn't spoken to anybody about what my plan was. And out of the blue, my mom told me that she and my brother were looking to move. Now, my mom and dad, they haven't been together since I was alive, since I was like a baby. So my mom was living somewhere else and I was living with my dad. So out of the blue, my mom tells me she's looking to move, and they were looking to move like the next month, and they were looking for a 2-bedroom. I was looking for a 1-bedroom apartment to stay by myself and be like bossed up, all of that. But when I heard that, I felt to ask her, well, what if you look for a 3-bedroom apartment and I will pay the extra money for the rent, for the extra room, and I will pay for the room and, split the bills and so on and so forth. So I said, but if you don't find a 3-bedroom, that's fine. Do what's best for your finances. So then my mom, she found a 2-bedroom. I went with her to look at it. And she also found a 3-bedroom, and I went with her to look at that as well. The 3-bedroom was newly done, but it was in kind of like the ghetto, like very, very ghetto. And we just wouldn't feel comfortable coming home to the ghetto. So my mom had decided to go with the 2-bedroom apartment. I was like, back to square one. But I think it was the day before she was going to meet the landlord to put down the down payment, she saw an ad in a newspaper for a 3-bedroom. And when she looked at the ad, she said, well, it's very close where I live right now, so I'll go and check it out. She checked it out. She showed me on video camera, and I was like, this is it. This is it. No questions asked. So she canceled with the 2-bedroom guy. And then here we are at the 3-bedroom home. Now, I have faith, but I'm not going to be stupid. So, of course, I'm thinking how I'm going to make the money. It's a pandemic. Things are on lockdown. How I'm going to make the money. I'm not by my dad. So how am I going to make the money to pay the bills? Well, my plan was, sometimes we got our own plans and God has a different plan. But let me tell you my plan. My plan was to host a summer camp. Now that usually brings in a couple $1,000, and that $1,000 will sustain me over the next couple of months till I figure out what's happening. But God had another plan. And the government also had another plan. Because the government, while the prime minister decided that all summer camps are off. All summer camps are off. So we moved in July, and summer camp will usually be end of July to end of August. All camps were off. And I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay these bills? But let me tell you about my God. I cannot even tell you specifically how it happened, but every single month from then until now, the bills have been paid on time. My monthly income has increased much more than when I was living at my dad. And it's like, and I have a sense of freedom, a sense of happiness, a sense of joy, a sense of peace. I mean, oh my gosh. So moving has been truly transformational for me, my happiness, my relationship with God. It has been like night and day. And the house was empty. The 2-bedroom house had furniture, but this one was empty. And God is so good. God is so good. I will leave how we got our furniture for another video. But I just want to tell you, sometimes things seem crazy. Sometimes things seem like they need a lot of faith. And you have to be able to hear God to know if it is crazy or if it is faith. Your relationship with God would dictate your level of being discernment. If you're able to discern, is this just me? Is this just me being crazy? Or is this faith? Because the way that things unfolded and unraveled for me to be here in this house right now, it could only be God. It could only be God. It could only be God. And I just want to thank Him. I want to bless Him. I just want to close the video. And whatever God is saying to you, if God is saying there's a time of transition for you, I know that was back then, that was the time for me. If it is a time of transition for you, you have to be able to hear what God is telling you to do. The transition didn't look how I thought it was going to look. I thought I was going to transition, be in my 1-bedroom apartment by myself, living it up. But my transition happened to be a transition from one home to another home with more people. Not more people, less people. But with the people, not just myself. And it has been great. It has honestly been great. God has been faithful. I have been able to buy things that I would not have been able to buy, spend money. And so much other things have happened. So much important things have happened since moving here. And I'm going to wait till another video to tell you about those important things. And I just want to close by saying, trust God. Trust God. Have faith in God. Believe in God. Believe in your relationship with Him. Seek Him more. Don't forsake the gathering of the brethren. Don't forsake your quiet time with God. Trust God. And that's me, Hasina, and I am out.